What's up, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing the new Xiaomi 12T. So shout out to Xiaomi for sending this out early for us to check out here, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into it. We don't get to look at a ton of Xiaomi phones on the channel, so I'm really excited for this one. You guys said you wanted to see more of them as well. Alright, so this is the black 8 gig 256 model. And yeah, so let's go ahead and check this out. I believe this is going to start off retailing for somewhere around 600 bucks. All right, designed by Xiaomi. We got our SIM tool, and what I like about Xiaomi is that for their flagship devices, there's a 12T and a 12T Pro. They do give you a case, and you also get the 120-watt charger in the box too, which is very rare for flagship devices. So I always appreciate that. You guys can see that 120-watt charger in here as well. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and just put this to the side. Let's go ahead and check out this phone here. All right, let's get this on. Peel that off. Boom. All right, so man, it's kind of like hits the light, it turns blue a little bit. You would almost mistake it as blue, but when it's like not hitting the light, it looks black though. All right, guys, we are all in on the phone here, and as you guys can see, really nice big vibrant display. This is a 6.67 inch panel here. It's a 1.5K resolution, or if you want to know just the numbers, it's 1220 by 2712. It's 446 for the PPI's Gorilla Glass 5. It's a pretty nice panel, HDR10. It's got 120 hertz on here as well, and it gets pretty bright. I believe it's 900 nits at its peak brightness. So outdoors, I actually did not have an issue. I'm actually using the display on here. We got our punch hole in the middle as well here, and we got pretty slim bezels on this phone too. So really no issues with the display here. I do want to talk about the back of this phone, because it's one thing that I noticed just using it. It gets super smudged up. You guys, you probably can't see it on the camera too well, but just like any type of touches on this thing, it gets smudged up. Like, it's really noticeable. That's one thing that I noticed here. Also, I'm really digging the camera on here. It's got 108 megapixels, as you guys can see, which we will talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I really like the camera design. I've always been a big fan, and this is actually my first Xiaomi phone with the in-display fingerprint sensor. They usually put it in the power button. I've always been a big fan of that, but this one actually has it in the display, which is perfectly fine. It works really well. Also, you do have that face unlock option as well. One of the most interesting things so far about this phone is a chipset that they decided to put in here. So I rarely use Dimensity chipsets. So this is the Dimensity 8100 Ultra here, and as you can see, it does pretty good with the benchmark scores here. You can kind of see how it compares to some other phones. As you can see in its range, just sort of give you a sort of idea. So it's pretty much on par with like a Galaxy S21 Ultra, Exynos, Snapdragon 870, stuff like that. So it's actually a pretty powerful chipset for the average person. Obviously, if you're like super heavy in the games, you would go ahead and get like the 12T Pro. But this one here, it's pretty fast. And one thing that I noticed just using this phone, it does not heat up anywhere as near as the Snapdragon chipsets, which I think is very cool. So that is one thing that I'm gonna keep an eye out for. Probably drop a full gaming test on here just to see how this chipset does. But this chipset, I'm telling you, it's way cooler than the Snapdragon chipsets here. You can see for games like Call of Duty here, we can run at very high max FPS. So it does a pretty good job with performance. See if I can get something going here. Yeah, but I really like the screen on here. It's really high quality. I'm telling you, this chip, man, it's pretty cool. Yeah, dang. Yeah, but if you're trying to game on here, definitely it's powerful enough to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out these speakers. These have the Dolby Atmos in their stereo speakers. Let's go ahead and check those out. Alright, so these are some pretty good sounding speakers, very good bass quality on here. I just want to see what they sound like without the Dolby Atmos. Yeah, so they're pretty loud. It really doesn't even make a difference, honestly. Yeah, so the speakers on here do sound pretty solid on here. So this phone also does have the fast charging at 120 watts as well, which is absolutely nuts. And I'll probably make a video. This thing charges extremely crazy fast. All right, so I do want to show you guys the cameras on here. So I was really mostly impressed with the cameras on here. I really like how selfies come out. I really like how the pictures come out. Xiaomi's image processing here is pretty good. So it's 108 megapixel standard. There's an 8 megapixel ultra wide, which isn't that really that exciting. And then you have a 2 megapixel macro, which actually took a pretty decent shot. You guys will see with that macro cam, but it shoots in 4K 30 and then a 20 megapixel selfie that only shoots in 1080p 60. So again, not like super impressive with the specs when it comes to the cameras, but I'm telling you, if you're just like casual camera person, to pop a still with this phone, I was really impressed. You get some super crispy shots on this phone. The 108 megapixels, if you go ahead and turn that on, once you zoom in a shot, you get some really nice shots here. Indoor shots were really nice, very vibrant, very punchy colors, just crystal clear. I really enjoyed the selfie cam on here as well too. Excellent skin tone. It got my skin tone really right on here, so I was pretty impressed. The portrait mode was pretty good on here too. So image quality, definitely my first impressions were pretty good. The ultra wide was pretty good as well. It was looked pretty similar to the main lens as well in terms of color, and had good detail on it. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with overall Xiaomi's image processing on here, which is really impressive to me. Now, there are a couple things to note about this phone. This phone does have the IR blaster on here. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the IR blaster. So basically, if you don't know what that is, it's basically you can use this as a universal remote. Control TVs, air conditioner, pretty much smart home appliances and stuff like that. It is very cool feature to have. I think it's very slept on. Basically, they only put them in Xiaomi phones these days. I can't remember another brand that has them. Maybe they do, but it's pretty much in Xiaomi phones these days. NFC is here, all that good stuff. This does have a pretty massive size battery at 5,000 milliamps, so very big battery. Definitely going to test out the battery, but just watching it so far, the way it's been draining and stuff like that, it looks like it'll be a phone that can easily do 6 hours of screen on time here. Alright, so basically my first impressions, I really do like the phone. MIUI, a lot of people do not like MIUI. MIUI has grown on me over the years. I still think the settings in MIUI is just really messy to me. I don't like the way they organize some things. But actually it has grown on me a lot. I do like the sort of glossy glass look of the MIUI skin here. A lot of people, you get a lot of, and that's one thing. So a lot of applications on here I did not install. So you do have a few applications on here that I didn't install. It's not a ton of bloatware, but like a few games and stuff like that, like this, and what else? Yeah, I didn't install any of this. TikTok, Tile Fun, just some random things on here. But yeah, not a ton of bloatware, but definitely you do have that on here. So be sure to let me know, what do you guys think of the Xiaomi 12T? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.